Most people believe the Roman Empire expanded in one simple way, by conquering everything in its path with brute force.
In fact, many of Rome's greatest expansions happened without full-scale invasions. Tonight, we're uncovering the real story. How Rome expanded through alliances, laws, economics.
I have to tell you something important. Don't tell anyone else.
This is how the Roman Empire really expanded. Rome began as a small city-state around the 8th century BCE. Surrounded by powerful Etruscan cities to the north, Rome was not dominant, it was vulnerable. Instead of trying to destroy stronger neighbors, Rome adopted a different strategy: absorb, adapt, and wait. Rome borrowed military tactics from the Greeks, engineering from the Etruscans, and religious customs from surrounding cultures. From the very beginning, Rome expanded by learning, not just conquering. And used that knowledge to fortify themselves. Slowly, the city-state began to grow beyond its initial 7 hills. While neighbors fought each other, Rome prepared its own strength in silence. And soon, the opportunity to use that strength would arrive. Rome rarely said, "We are attacking you." Instead, Rome usually claimed, "We are defending ourselves or our allies."
This mattered. Rome formed alliances with nearby cities.
When one ally was attacked, Rome responded militarily. Acting as the hero, rushing to save the day. After victory, Rome did not always destroy those regions. Instead, Rome stationed troops and built outposts. They imposed treaties that demanded loyalty above all else. Slowly, Rome's defensive wars created permanent control. This allowed Rome to expand without initially appearing imperial.
Rome's most powerful weapon was not the sword. It was citizenship.
Rome created different levels of belonging.
Full Roman citizens, partial citizens, and allied communities. and crucially, access to the massive Roman trade network. In return, they provided soldiers, taxes, and loyalty. Over time, many regions actually wanted to be Roman.
Because being Roman meant being safe and rich.
Rome expanded not by erasing cultures, but by integrating them, turning enemies into fellow citizens. Local elites often became the biggest supporters of Roman rule, because it offered them a path to power within the greatest empire. But citizenship wasn't the only tool. There was also infrastructure. Rome built infrastructure wherever it went. Not just for convenience, but for control. Roman roads allowed rapid troop movement.
And unprecedented communication flow across continents.
Roman law standardized contracts and dispute resolution. No matter where you were, the law was pungent. This made trade safer and more predictable. People living under Roman rule often experienced more stability. This made Roman control desirable, not just enforced. Empires don't survive on fear alone. Rome understood that early. Water, roads, law. These were tools of conquest.
But when laws weren't enough, Rome played politics.
Rome was a master of divide and rule.
When two neighboring kingdoms fought each other.
Rome supported one side just enough to keep the war going.
This weakened both enemies effectively.
Then Rome stepped in as the benevolent peacekeeper. Eventually, both sides depended on Rome for survival. Rome also used strategic marriages to gain footholds. And intense economic pressure.
Offering political favors to kings who bent the knee.
Entire regions were often absorbed without a single major battle.
This slow, strategic expansion is often ignored.
But it built the unbreakable foundation of the empire.
During the late Republic, Rome's expansion became personal. Generals like Caesar, Pompey, and Augustus took charge. They expanded territory for personal power, not always state necessity. Caesar's conquest of Gaul wasn't fully ordered by Rome. It was driven by massive ambition. This created a dangerous shift in the empire. Armies became loyal to generals, not the Republic. Rome expanded rapidly, but the cost was high. The internal stability of the Republic began to fracture. Eventually, this uncontrolled growth led to problems. Eventually, Rome simply became too large to manage. Expansion created stretched borders that were hard to defend.
And armies that were incredibly expensive to maintain.
Internal corruption began to rot the system from within. Managing such diversity became harder and harder. What once fueled Rome's rise, integration and flexibility, slowly turned into overextension and bureaucracy.
Rome didn't fall because it expanded.
Because it could no longer manage what it had absorbed. The Roman Empire did not expand simply by conquest. It expanded through alliances, citizenship, infrastructure, law, and strategy. Rome's true strength wasn't how it defeated enemies,
But how it turned them into Romans.
and that lesson is still relevant today. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history, consider subscribing.
For more untold stories from the past.
Because history is never as simple as it seems.